Hello.
Hello, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, it's Friday. Happy Friday.
Yeah, need to be Friday. Need a weekend.
Was it a long week?
A little bit.
It was a busy week for me, yeah, definitely. Yeah. How's you guys' week been? March is almost over, which is crazy.
It is.
Seems like it just started.
Yeah. Was it Monday? Monday's not the first. Monday's the last day, right? Monday the 31st.
I don't know. Oh, that means I need to be thinking about what my April Fool's video is going to be this year. It's already that time again. Jeez.
Oh, man.
Last year was a good one. I don't know how I'm going to top myself this time. Anyway, guys, welcome. We're going to answer a bunch of you guys' questions today. We got a kit to give away. We got some new stuff coming in to talk about. So, welcome.
The 31st is Thursday.
Next Thursday?
Next Thursday.
Yeah, so we got time.
We've got plenty of time.
All right, so let's talk about some just new stuff that's come in. As I've got that right here in front of my face, a big stack of stuff. I'll hand this stuff to you.
Yeah, so a lot of new and some restock Kotobukiya stuff. So the Sneak Sight is actually a reprint. Really cool kit if you guys like your Zoids or mecha animals and stuff. This is a very cool kit from the Hex Gear line from Kotobukiya. So
smaller.
It is smaller.
Not like on the scale of like
it's not on the scale of Zoids. It is a little bit smaller. I think it is a 1/24th scale kit, but it's
not big.
It's not as big. Yeah.
If you built like one of the governor kits.
Yeah, I think it's
like a similar size.
Yeah, I don't know if they can. It actually goes on one of the governors. You can use the wings to put on there. So very cool kit. Check that out. I built one. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm into like the mecha animals and stuff.
This one too.
The Track Down again is a Hex Gear kit, but it's kind of like for a wolf. But again, same 1/24th scale like the Sneak Sight there, but very cool kit. So check those out, guys. Just got them in. So very cool.
Reissues of those.
Yeah.
Just stick with Zoid stuff. Well, here's this.
We can run through. So entry grade strike. Just got these in. We get a whole bunch more in maybe today or Monday. So if you have this pre-ordered, we are getting them out as fast as we can. Very cool kit. You built this kit.
Yeah.
This is good. Is it in here or it's in display? Okay. Cool. So
it's another one actually.
Boom.
Yep.
So very cool kit. The only entry grade I built was RX-78. I have not built this one, but I'm shaking it around. But
it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a limit on how many people can buy?
No,
so if you want to buy like 3 or 4,
if you want to buy 20. No, we're getting plenty of these in. I think we still have half of what we're actually getting. I think only half got pre-ordered out. So plenty in stock. A fun restock of the Masquerade Curios just came in. So anyone that back ordered this, I believe all the back orders should have went out yesterday or the day before that. As long as you had nothing else that was pre-ordered, back ordered on the order, this should have been shipped out to you if you did back order it. So in stock now, so if you want them, come get them.
And that's not something you can say often about master grades.
Yes, master grades have been very rare.
You're not able to keep anything in stock. Yeah.
So the new was it Arca Nade Lumitia kit from Kotobukiya. I know this was a new line that they are doing. It's a Mecha Musume kit, kind of.
It's not like mecha,
but it's not mecha. Yeah, but let me see if I can get
like heroin.
Yeah.
Figure. There you go.
Yeah. So this is a cool kit. I know the first batch of these we are pre-sold out of, all the ones that came in. But we are getting a second batch later in the year. Some of those, I don't think there's a lot left for pre-order. But if you're into Mecha Musume, you'll probably like this a lot. Very cool kit.
That box art is very,
very
premium with the gold print on there.
Yeah,
that is some nice box art. I gotta say, here it shows what the kit looks like, just without any paint, right there. So yeah.
So check these out, guys. This kit's really cool. I know it's a new line that they're doing. I think they've announced another one in the line on one of the shows or something. So I thought I remember seeing something on Facebook about that. So check it out.
Zoids?
Zoid time. So yeah, we just got 2 Ligers in. This is a Liger Zero X. Still plenty of these in stock if you guys want to get them. If you pre-order them out, we've been getting all the pre-orders out as fast as we can. So check this one out, guys. If you're a Zoids fan, I think you'll like this one a lot. So.
It's got those clear, like cool, like clear parts on the shoulders.
Yeah,
nice.
So very cool. We did get the weapons system that goes on the Zero with it. So if you have another Liger that you just want just the weapon system,
or if you can somehow manage to find the just like the Liger frame kit, which is very difficult to find. Yeah, if you can find that, then you can usually buy, I think, like all the
you can get usually
sets.
Usually when they reprint the Liger, they'll reprint the armor set. So you should be able to
or you can mix and match.
Yeah,
make a custom Liger.
Make your own Liger.
And
our giveaway.
Yeah. So, but we do have these in stock, though.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't win it, you do want to buy one.
Yep. We do have the Empire version.
Yes,
so we
the
do have
Marking Plus version of the Empire version.
Yeah. So both those just came in, guys. A lot of cool kits that just came in from Kotobukiya, who is sponsoring the giveaways for this video. They are a really great model kit company, guys. If you've never built a Kotobukiya kit line, check them out. They've got a lot of really cool stuff: hex gear, Zoids, frame arm girls, Megami device kits. There's so many other. They've got detail parts, MSG weapons, MSG detail parts. There's plethora of stuff. So check out the Kotobukiya stuff that we sell. You can check out their website too and see all the fun stuff that they're coming out with. They make figures too, which is pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, I was just gonna say all their figure stuff. Yeah. The cool thing about these Zoids kits, which I've mentioned before, but I'll just mention every time, is that if you like master grades or even like perfect grades, it's like building one of those. They're super duper detailed. So if you guys like inner detail, and like a lot of the Zoids designs don't really appeal that much to me, but every time I've built one, I do really love the kits. They're so fun to build. If you like just kits that it's gonna take you a long time to put together, that you can really take your time on, that's Zoid's HMM kits.
Yes,
they take a while, so they're fun.
Yeah, definitely.
What else is on the way?
On the way, there's a lot of high grade UC restocks coming. We've gotten some in that we didn't bring up here. I think the high grade Sosby high grade, some seeds. There was some gins. There was some
the master grade GNX. You mentioned about that.
That just came. That's not here yet. Okay, that'll be here maybe today. So a bunch of those are coming in. I know other stores are kind of getting them around. So usually when you see other stores getting stuff in, we're kind of maybe 1 or 2 days. It just depends when Bandai ships it out. Sometimes we'll get it in sooner. Sometimes we'll get it in a day or two later. So
we're like logistically the farthest from the complete opposite end of the country.
Yeah. But those are coming in. Real grade Sosby, which I think we still have some left. Master grade Sosby Reco. I know we got some last week. If there's not any of those left, we are getting a bunch more next week. Another Kotobukiya order shipped out to us that has some more Zoids. It has some, I don't know what Megami device, but it has, so we're getting another big Kotobukiya order next week too. So just, check our social media, check your email. We always send out emails and pictures and stuff like that of what we got in. So that's stuff you're into. Yes. Was it Connor? Yeah, Connor. Yeah. Those did come in. I believe they're still available too. I believe they're in stock now. So check that out. That entire line did come in. So
the 148 one? That one?
Not the 148. I lied. What is it? The one? Because those are different scale than Gumpa ones.
The HG are 172.
The HG, the HG ones did come in. The 148th kit, we don't have word yet that it did ship out to us, but we do have the 172 ones.
The HGs.
Yeah, the HGs all in stock.
But if it's any consolation, Connor, I'm planning probably on Monday. I'll have a live stream build. So I have my full mechanics one. Is what he's talking about. Yeah, the 148 scale. I'm working on getting mine ready to hopefully do a live build on Monday, so you can at least see what it's like, and it's got the clear parts and stuff on it too. So hopefully I have that ready, and we can do live build up on Monday, and hopefully we'll have it in soon.
Yeah,
but it's on the way. Anyway, so before we get into some more questions, we also still have the Battlelog Contest going on.
Yes.
You guys have about a month left on that. So, I mean, it's basically just a repainting contest for the most part. So if you guys, haven't even started, there's still ample time to get in on the contest. Something like that.
Yeah, plenty of time to get in, guys. And then starting today through Sunday, those kits are 20% off. So all Battlelog kits are 20% off. Just use code Battlelog without the E, battle, and then code. Spell it like how Bandai spells it, and how that line is, and 20% off at checkout. Just those kits through Sunday midnight Eastern time. So if you're not in Eastern time and you wait to midnight, you're too late. So
it's still plenty of time to get on the contest. If you don't know what I'm talking about at all, then I have the video going over all the details and everything over on my channel, and we announced it about a month ago. I guess middle of February, right? Still get on that contest. Right now we're sitting at around just over 220 people have entered so far who are working on their kits. Usually it's not everyone finishes, of course. It's usually around half, 2/3 people end up finishing, but even still, that's going to be a lot of finished entries for us to look through. So
it's cool though. It'd be fun. I'm excited to see what everyone comes up with and does color scheme wise, and
definitely. I haven't been I've got a few finished entries already, but not that much, which means that people are putting some effort into it, which is good. So that'll be awesome. So that's, I think, good for all the announcements, everything we needed to
I think
catch up on.
Let's get some questions.
All right. From the Facebook page, let's see. Oh, well, maybe we should just mention it briefly about that notice from Bandai that came out the other day. We don't really know.
I'm sure we're gonna get questions. So reached out to Bandai, still kind of waiting on their answer. I'm sure either they are getting, I guess, probably the proper wording to let us know.
Translation.
Because when you put that through Google Translate or anything, I know a bunch of people have tried to do different things. The translation can be off. I've seen people post on Facebook their translations. You don't really know, how well that is. If you don't know the person, obviously there's people that speak fluent Japanese. So, but waiting for full confirmation from Bandai themselves, what that means for us, what that actually means for Japanese stores, because some Japanese stores took stuff down, some left stuff up. I've seen and heard that the letter was kind of vague on really if they were allowed to sell it outside the US, outside Japan. So it's just better just to wait, honestly, find out straight from the source, what the situation is and what they want done. Why they put that letter out. Was it, I think in the letter it said it was for scalping, things like that. So, it's just better kind of not to jump the gun and assume that, you can't buy from your favorite Japanese seller if that's what you prefer, or Bandai's, trying to do something with American sales or something like that. I'm sure that there's a reason and a good reason, and it's best to wait for.
And I think the important thing is that that's the letter that the thing that whatever it is that they're implementing is for Japanese stores, for stores in Japan. So the letter, that was just what was put out publicly. Obviously, whatever they've communicated to Japanese stores, I'm sure is more detailed. And so they just gave the summary out as just that public letter. So if you really want to know it more in detail, you could if you know somebody in the higher ups at Ami or something, they probably know more detail about it. But otherwise we just kind of have to wait.
And it'd be weird too, because nowhere in the letter and nowhere that I've seen or heard from Bandai that it said that they can't sell. Because I've seen some people on Facebook say, well, they can't sell to U.S. people only. It didn't say that in the letter at all. I know that, and I know Bandai, from things I've heard, never said that they couldn't sell just to our country. And then you think, there's other countries that don't have Bandai distributors,
right?
So if you're telling Japanese stores you can't sell outside Japan, which, how are those people that even don't even have, distributors in their country be able to buy stuff? So, it's just kind of best to wait to actually find the true answer from Bandai. And
in the meantime, it's hard enough to get Gumpa anyway. So, I mean, not too much change, really. All right, Kevin wants to know, why does Bandai continue to ignore everyone's demand for another GOG release? By everyone, I mean me, he said.
So you're everyone for the GOG. I don't know. I'm sure that they have kits that they want to make 2.0s or revives of. And it probably honestly comes down to sellability. How well will something sell? If it's going to sell good, is it worth the investment to make the molds, redesign the kit? Does it make a good business sense to actually redo it? So that's probably what it comes down to, because we all have our desires and wants. Whether those desires and wants match with everyone else's, that's probably what. If it does, you're probably on the right track to get a revive or 2.0. If it doesn't, then you either might be waiting a very long time or it's never going to happen.
Well, what you could do is be one of those people who gets an old kit and puts a ton of work into it, and then right before you're done, Bandai announces they're making the new one.
That's happened to some people, I'm sure.
No, the GOG is one of the I don't know exactly what number. It's one of the very first HGUC kits, so it's definitely old if we're talking a new HG. But all right, Alex said, what are some of your favorite model kit gimmicks that you've seen, whether it be the engineering, utility, aesthetics, things like that?
Yeah, I like when they do the thigh and I know some of the arms on some of the kits do it, where the
Sliding
armor
armor.
actual. Yeah, I think that was for me pretty cool when they started doing that. Because before you just had the two pieces and it didn't move, and then so the more mechanical parts and stuff like that to make the kit actually stand out more when you're posing in different positions, for me is pretty cool. And what they do with different joints, I mean, joints kind of pop and extend now to be able to give you more posability. And so
the thing I like about that too is that it exposes more of the inner frame. And so anytime that you've got a gimmick that exposes more of the frame is cool, because there's always, at least if we're talking master grades or real grades, there's a lot of detail there that's cool to show off.
And most of the time you just kind of build it, put it on the shelf, and just look at it, and you're not going to ever look at the inner frame.
Right.
So if you got some inner frame poking out, it's better than none.
Adama asked, who is our favorite female pilot?
Oh, what's her name? Oh, I can't remember her name. From Unicorn.
Well, she's definitely not your favorite then.
Marita. Marita. Thank you, Marita. I do like Sayla, but Sayla really wasn't. She didn't pilot anything other than the
Methus in Zeta. Was that Sayla?
No, it wasn't.
Who am I thinking of now? Somebody
kind of piloted the Origins gun tank when she was a kid, but and she flew the
core fighter.
Yeah, the core fighter.
Yeah,
but but Sailor Mass is the best girl in Gundam.
I don't know about that. I will say definitely Marita Cruz, but also Sochie Haim from Turn A is one of my favorites. Definitely. I don't know. You know what series has a lot of great female pilots?
If you say G Gundam.
G Gundam. G Gundam does. Exactly. What model has your favorite weapons?
This bug keeps bothering me.
I know there's a fly in here or something.
Has my favorite weapons. I do like fin funnels. So there's a few mobile suits that have that. I do like seed weapons. So I like the beam shields that the Strike Freedom has. And then the Strike Freedom obviously has funnels, so that's cool.
Dragoons, please.
Well, those are Dragoons. That's kind of what I like.
Well, I'm quite opposite, actually. I don't like either of those things.
Really? Jeez.
I don't really like funnels or beam shields. I prefer the physical shields, and then like the bits, like Kubele has, is kind of better. I just don't like the new or the high new, like the folding fin funnels. Just kind of dumb looking. I don't really like those, but I'm more just like a cool rifle design is pretty good.
I do like the Sinanju's rifle, and I like
Yeah,
it when it
definitely.
has the bazooka, not the giant bazooka, but the little
The grenade launcher.
the grenade launcher.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do like that. It looks pretty.
Definitely one of the
sleek,
best rifle designs. Yeah.
I will be right back.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll be right back, guys.
Other favorite weapons for me, I don't know, like, yeah, the Shinanju just has such a really great loadout of weapons because its rifle design is really cool. Its bazooka design is also really cool. And the fact that you can combine them and it looks really awesome. Its beam axes are cool. It also has just kind of standard beam sabers. And like if we're talking like kits, the beam saber effect parts for the Shinanju are also really nice because they're like more dynamic than the regular beam saber effect parts. So the Shinanju has just like really great loadout of weapons, I always think. Chris mentioned the unicorn's Gatling shields. Yes, also very cool. I mean, whether you have the shield on them or not, the double Gatling guns on the unicorn are very cool. Definitely. The unicorn in general, that entire series, there's a lot of mobile suits with great weapons in there. All right, and just great mobile suit designs in general. So, any beginner tips for building Zoids kits? Juan said. I did notice that there was more. I think probably because the giveaway item is a Zoids kit this time. I noticed there was a number of Zoids questions, but beginner tips for building Zoids kits, especially if you're building the Kotobukiya HMM line. Like I said, they have a ton of parts, so just take your time with the builds. They take a long time because they have a ton of parts, a ton of details. Glue little parts if it's like small parts that don't affect, like that don't move. Just put some glue on them. That'd be for the best. I am also not gonna go away if I can, but see if I can find a tissue. Yeah, I'll ask Adam when he comes back. Sorry, guys. It's like stuffy in here this morning. But yeah, that would be my tips if you're building a Zoids kit. Is it good to use those type of paint that have paint or primer mixed on a model kit? So you're talking about a paint that's like acts as a paint and a primer. So the only type of paints that come to mind when I think of that would be like the Nazca paints. Like the Nazca primers are supposed to act as a paint and primer together, and I've used those a lot of times, and they're great. I don't know of any others offhand that are supposed to act. I mean, but basically, primer is basically just paint, though. I mean, so if you want to just use primer and then not put any paint over it, like you can do that. But I mean, as far as I know, I mean, if it's a paint that's made for model kits, then it should be fine. Whether it's paint, primer mixed, or just primer, or just paint, or whatever, it should be fine. How much do you think a new HMM Gil Vidar kit would cost? I don't know. I couldn't say on that. When will the pre-sale for the next MG Extreme kit be available? I guess normally I can speak for Adam. When kits go up for pre-order, that's Adam's doing. I'm not in charge of that, but I can say that normally it's just once we get. Hey, Adam, okay. Will you bring a tissue? You come, Kleenex. Once we get information from Bandai on like the price and like some sort of rough release day, at least, is when we can put stuff up for pre-order. Somebody's asking when the new MGX will be up for pre-order. Thanks. Just once we get more information from Bandai, basically.
Yeah, once Bandai announces what the release date is and pricing and costs, that's when we're able to put it up. So,
because we can't put it up for pre-order if we don't know how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, we have no idea when it's coming out or what even price would be.
Some older MG kits had screws. Which kits were they? Oh, many.
Yeah,
say. There was a lot. Basically, the first couple dozen MG kits.
Even some of the Seed Master Grades had, right? Didn't the first strike have them?
Probably.
I believe it did.
One thing I can say, though, for like a lot of those is, number one, the screws are such a pain in the ass to actually get in. Mm-hmm. Some people complain about them, like just that the kits even have screws. It doesn't bother me if the kit has screws or not. I mean, I just want a cool kit. But my biggest complaint is that they're so hard to get in. They're always way too tight. But on the other hand, a lot of kits don't actually really need them.
Yeah.
A lot of the times I just don't even put them in, and you don't really need it. There are a few kits where you do actually kind of really need it.
Yeah.
But any thoughts on screws?
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. If it has a screw, you just try to get the screw in there. But like you said, probably most of the time, you don't need it. Yeah.
Michael asked, "What's your favorite Zoid?" Maybe not kit. He didn't say, but just favorite Zoid.
My favorite Zoid. They had. I think Takara told me. Is it Takara told me? Takara Tommy. Yeah. They made something of it, but was it the fish one? I just remember it because it's something Dick. It's like
Moby Dick.
No, it's not Moby Dick. Zoe, I can't remember. See, I'm having a hard time with names today.
Kits wise, I mean, either kits or not. I mean, just the Liger is just such a solid design. It's kind of boring to say.
The Wardick.
Wardick.
Yeah, Wardick.
Okay, there you go.
But for some reason, I like the mecha fish. I don't know. But I don't think Kotobuki. I'm 99.9% sure Kotobuki has not made one of those. Which would be cool if they did.
Yeah, they made that like pterodactyl.
They made that
one, a few years back. It's kind of one of the more recent ones they made, I guess. But yeah, the Liger is just such a solid design in its many forms, but I do also like the Berserk Fury.
Berserk Fury is good, yeah.
And it also has different forms. I've actually not. Probably one of my favorite designs, but I've not ever built the kit.
Really?
Strangely enough, yeah. I built the Genosaur last year, which is like kind of similar, yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you think Bandai will ever touch more MGIBO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be extremely surprised if they don't. I'd be surprised if they don't this year. I would.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
I was surprised they didn't last year.
Mm-hmm.
You think of how well the Barbados did.
That's true.
Yeah, I would think there's definitely. I would be willing to bet there's not just one. There's probably a few that are in production or some sort of development.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, I'm sure they've got plans for at least one, no doubt. Yeah. Jose's question is kind of related to what we were just talking about with the Liger. So he just asked, "What's your favorite Liger? Do you have a favorite version?"
I like the green. I don't know. So Ligers, I don't know. Yeah, with the big cannons.
All the missiles and everything.
Yeah. I do like the Panzer.
Yep. That's one that I've got but not built.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice.
The Panzer is super cool. Definitely. Actually, shout out to Chris Ramirez. He did a really awesome build of his just recently and won a contest. I can't remember which contest it was, but
awesome.
Have you seen that?
I have not.
I'll show you later.
Yes.
It's awesome. He did like all like the effect parts, all the missiles shooting out and everything.
That's
it's
cool.
awesome.
I think I have seen it then.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really like the not the Blade Liger, the Schneider, I think is the orange one.
Yeah. Okay.
All the sword bits and that one's also really cool looking. But yeah, there's a lot of really great versions. Let's see. Any update on the Q1 or Q2 arrivals?
So we actually get some Q2 arrivals this month. I was telling Zach about it.
Yeah,
I was like, we still haven't gotten Q1s, but they're sending us Q2 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So some Q stuff has already actually arrived. And then there's some Q1 stuff that probably will have to get pushed back to Q2. It's weird because it just kind of depends what containers they're able to get. I don't know what, for some reason at the ports, it's not first in, first out. It's whatever they can access.
Yeah.
So if there's a container that has, Q1 Gundam kits for Bandai, but it's under 30 other containers, they're probably going to grab the Q2 one that's on top of all of it before. So it's, it just kind of now, it's just, we can have an estimate. They shipped out January. It should be here by March to us, but sometimes it's just taking a little bit longer, and it depends on what containers get unloaded and what containers get delivered. If you did order Q1 stuff, that stuff will be here. I would assume pretty soon. They are confirmed numbers. We don't put anything up for backorder that's not confirmed. So Bandai's told us this is how many you're getting, and we will get that amount around that time frame. So, man, that flies.
I know.
Gotta get rid of it.
It's nothing you can do. Christopher had a comment here. And he said, "I'm kind of disappointed with the Bandai announcements. Only one to look forward to is the HG Shenlong." So yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. So I thought when they were going to do what they did, I believe it was last year, maybe it was the year before that, where they kind of announced everything that they were going to make for the year. For the most part, there were some things that they kind of announced later on in the year. They didn't announce it, but Real Grade Hainu was in there. The High Grade Nightingale was on there. The Doms were on there, which didn't even come out that year. They came out this year. Yeah, this year. Yeah. So I thought that's what they were going to do. It was not, apparently. So there are more kits. I'm sure this is not what they're going to make for the whole year. I'm sure they're going to have other new stuff. And maybe it was just like a teaser thing for.
Yeah, they did an announcement thing like this, I feel like, in the fall. So maybe kind of for the time being, I mean, it changes all the time, but maybe for the time being, what they're thinking to do is like a big announcement for like half a year. So they'll do it like twice a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. So like this set of announcements we got is for like the first half of the year up to through like the summer. And then in the fall, we'll get something for like fall, winter releases going in. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I felt kind of the same, at least for me, because I'm not really into like the Gao Gai Gar, which is the new RG release. It's not that exciting for me personally. And there was like a lot of other kind of super robot type stuff.
There was,
which is just not that exciting for me. So.
I'm sure there'll be probably one or two real grade Gumpa, Gundam kits that are coming. I would assume. I think every year they've done at least 2 or 3. So
we did have the announcement of the Premium Bandai, another RG Ava kit.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, the silver. It's the Mark. It's the Ava 04.
That one.
I think it is.
I know. I saw the Master Grade Jin.
Oh yeah, just yesterday. Yeah, the Jin Gladiator. I think it is, right?
Yeah,
I think it's right. Something like that from the Eclipse series.
Yeah.
So, I was also. I mean, it just kind of depends on what you're into. For me personally, there wasn't all that much that was exciting. There was that cute Charmander.
Yeah, like Pokepla kits, which are actually really cool kits if you like Pokemon.
Sure.
So
definitely. I mean, kind of a little bit of a tangent, but I really like them because they're so cheap and so simple. Like, I wouldn't want to. I mean, I like Pokemon, and I wouldn't want like a big like $30 kit. Well, that said, I do really like that Magikarp kit. That was cool.
Yeah.
But like for just like a Charmander or something, like I wouldn't want like a super articulated, just like a master grade Pokemon kit. Just like even like the normal Pokepla line I'm not that into, but I really like the Quick series because they basically just make these little statues of Pokemon. They look really cool, and they're quite cheap. So I really like that line actually.
Yeah.
But on that kind of a question here from Jonathan, he asked, which model line do you recommend for durability and cost? Looking to get my kids some, and they're a bit rough.
I wouldn't get model kits.
Well, the entry grade line.
Oh, I almost had it. We should title this video when you put up the Attack of the Fly.
I know. The entry grade, I will say the entry grade RX-782, I feel like with the strike, I always pop out the leg pops off the hip.
Hopefully you have nothing in there. We have trapped
cookies.
him. Oh no, he's trapped.
Don't trap him with my cookies. Sorry, it's not worth it. Let him out.
He was trapped for a second.
There you go. Jeez. No, the entry grade RX-782 Gundam's great.
So yeah, then
it still has the V fin. I mean, any Gundam is gonna have a V fin.
Yeah, I mean,
get like a HGUC Revive if Gym Ground type.
I mean, if it's something that you're asking for them to play with and they don't really care to build it, I would just get the Universal Century figures.
The Universe line.
Yeah. Yeah, not Universal. Yeah, Gundam Universe figures.
Which they just announced some new ones of those.
They did. Because those are basically high U144 scale, I believe, almost.
They're bigger than that, I believe.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
They're like between HG and MG size. They're a little bit larger.
I gotta open one up and check it out.
I'm pretty sure.
But I mean, if they just kind of want something to play with and they don't really care to build it, that would be probably the way to go. If they want to build something, I mean, Zach's right. Entry grade line probably will hold up more, especially if they want to play with it. But it's gonna fall apart, I think.
Yeah. Even like an HG. I mean, for durability and cost, for like, someone that's not a rough kid, the HG line would be very good. But yeah, I mean, if they're rough kids, any model kit, if they're just not you can play with them, to an extent, but it's not meant to be played with that much.
Right.
It's still a model kit at the end of the day. All right, let's switch over, take some questions here from the YouTube community tab as well. Before this morning, I was trying to get logged in on Instagram on my computer, and it's just not working. I tried for like 30 minutes because we always have this issue with Instagram not working on my computer here. I don't know why, but so we'll get to that. I'll just have to use my phone. Which kit should I build next between these three in his backlog? George asked. The MG Mark II version 2.0, the MG Barbatos, or the MG ZakuAurelius?
I would say the Barbatos. Although the ZakuAurelius is nice too, but for me, it would be the Masquerade Barbatos. If it was me.
I would say the Mark II.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've not built that one. I don't know, but no, I think the Barbatos and the ZakuAurelius are like on the complete opposite ends of.
They are.
As far as like, they're both very current master grades, but as far as like complexity of master grades, the Barbatos is definitely more on the complex end as far as master grades go. And the ZakuAurelius is a very simple master grade, whereas the Gundam Mark II is probably kind of in between there a little bit. So start with that, and then you can try out the other ends of the spectrum. Do you plan on changing how you deal with delayed items, especially the ones delayed for months, if not over a year?
I don't know how else you would want to deal with that.
Maybe
the way that we do now,
like a discount or something, because it's delayed for so long.
they can always ask for a refund, and we don't charge any fee for any delayed items if you want to cancel the order. But a lot of times it's delayed. It's not. I mean, it's never our fault. It's usually the manufacturer. I mean, if you look at kind of our delay list, I think 90% of them are all figures now. Like it's Good Smile, and a lot of figures are just getting delayed left and right. And usually if you want the figure, it's sold out before it even comes in stock at places, a lot of these figures. So
if you have your pre-order in,
you're going to get it. If you cancel it, someone else is going to gobble that pre-order up, and you're going to have to hope that another store will get them in stock or doesn't do pre-orders and lists them. And then you're fighting to get there first, instead of, fighting to be there first when everyone else is fighting to be there first. I've always liked to put it in, know I'm going to get it, and then move on. When it gets here, it gets here. But I don't know how else we would deal with that.
The main point is that, I mean, like if you, really don't want to wait, you can just cancel your pre-order.
Yeah, you can cancel it, or just, you're welcome not to do pre-orders, I guess. Like I said, and then kind of fight to get the stuff in stock and hope it doesn't go out of stock from stores that.
Yeah. Abrams had once, since we're giving away the Zoids, he has a Zoids theme question. Which Zoid would you want to pilot if you were on Planet Z?
Oof.
Are they on Planet Z? I didn't know it's a different planet. He said he would want to really any Liger Zero variant or the Berserk Fury.
Yeah, either. I do like the Shadow Wolf a lot for, but cool. I mean, you always kind of, when you're a kid watching it, you want to be the main thing. So, but I would like to, we talked about kind of our favorite, the King, what was it, King Dick or whatever it was? The
Wardick,
thank you. That would be cool. I mean, kind of too depends if we're really going to dive in, where are you fighting and what kind of environment and things like that. Who are you fighting against?
Yeah. The Liger is nice for the versatility, right?
Yeah, you switch out what you want.
Sure. I don't know. There was like the different Raptor ones as well, too.
Yeah, those are
cool. Now with the Wing HG line is done, which series do you predict is next or should have a solid run? Or do you really, this is kind of expanding on his question, do you think the Wing HG line is really done? Do you think they'll do like some of the later ones as well, like the Ultra or something?
Yeah. So I don't think it's done. And let me say, I think they'll go with the Endless Waltz ones next.
Really?
Well, they came up with the P Bandai that wasn't the Endless Waltz Heavy Arms. It was the Heavy Arms.
Heavy Arms Kai?
Yeah, the Kai.
Yeah.
So if they were doing P Bandai ones, if they were going to do an all endless waltz, because they had the endless waltz 144th non-high grade kit. Oh, those are high grade kits, so they'll remake those maybe. Maybe that's just me being hopeful.
Well, they've already got the Wing Zero, so then the other ones that's left is basically Dead Side Hell.
Well, did they redo? Oh yeah, okay.
So Wing Zero's already It's just the Ultron and the Dead Side Hell.
Yeah,
it's basically what's left as far as like TV, like the second
season or whatever you want to call it.
Because the Heavy Arms didn't get one and the Sandrock didn't get one.
Well, Heavy Arm, what was the Kai? What was the Kai? Was that the second making?
I always get them confused. But anyway,
Kai just has 2 barrels, pretty much is all it does, instead of 1 barrel for the Gatling gun.
Right, something like that.
And
sure.
I want to say that was the second variant of it. I don't know. I'm sure the chat's gonna let us know.
I think that with the Live Lands Heaven kit, they've already got Death Side Hell, at least some of the runners in the works, so that's there. And then all they would really need to do then to complete the line would then just be making the Ultron.
Yeah.
So, which I think even for that they can reuse some of the parts of the Shenlong. So I would say that's very likely, possibly, that they'll just go ahead and make those 2 as well. It might be more of a gap until they make those, though. It might be kind of later, a couple years later or something. But Michael also mentioned in his question that he said that G Gundam would be great. And I also agree. That said, the HG G Gundam kits aren't that old. Like the Nobel and the God Gundam and the Master Gundam, the more recent ones like that they have aren't that old. So I don't really think that they would redo those. Yeah. It would be nice if they made some more of the series.
Yeah, it would. Because they have all those old ones, the Maxter and the
Bolts.
Yep.
Dragon Gundam.
And they even made 100 ones too of the world. So it'd be neat to get kind of revives of those. Yeah, as much as
they could make like new versions of the ones they haven't made yet, the Dragon and the Bolt and those, and then make P Bandai versions
of the ones they
haven't plated gold.
Oh, yeah,
of the ones they already have out.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah,
just make like a plated gold P Bandai version of the God Gundam. They can like release them at the same time, right? Yeah, that would be a good idea. As far as like other series go, I mean, it would still be cool to see some more Gundam X. They did like the Airmaster a couple of years ago, but there's still a lot of Mobile Suits Gundams from Gundam X that they've not ever made. Do you think we'll see more reprints of old Zoids kits like the D Bison and the Genosaur?
Yeah, I would hope so. I would think that they would.
They're doing the Marking Plus versions.
Yeah, But now that kind of the U.S. market is open and they're able to get those kits over here, I see them doing. I would hope that they would do more.
Firefly has an interesting question here. He said, has there been a trend of Robot Spirits becoming model kits? Robot Spirits releases becoming model kits, or am I just too excited to get a mass production gun tank in any form? I haven't noticed that.
No, because I haven't noticed that either. Because there's some Robot Spirits that I would love to have model kits of.
Sure.
But they have not made them, and then they make Robot Spirits of stuff they already have model kits of too. So yeah,
I think, as far as I know, I think like at Bandai, that's separate teams that work on the Robot Spirit stuff, and like the Bandai Plamos, Bandai Spirits, they don't coordinate at all, as far as I know, as far as like releases go.
One's Tamashi, right? Tamashi Nations makes the Robot Spirit stuff. Or is that
sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Tamashi Nations makes Robot Spirit stuff. And then the model kits are a Bandai Hobby that makes those. So yeah.
Ian has a question about recommendations on priming ABS parts, especially on the early RG interframes.
I always just use the spray can stuff.
I use airbrush, but it's the same paint. But I've never had a problem with the ABS frames, even on like a couple of real grades.
Like worried about it cracking or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have never had a part crack or break due to any paint, panel liner, But I have seen other people.
Yeah.
I have not. Like the Tamiya panel liner, people were saying it makes the parts brittle. I've never had that. But then again, I clear glossed the kit before I put that panel liner on. So maybe that's why. But I've never had primer hurt a part.
Yeah, right. I'm the same. Actually, the only time that's happened to me was on an unpainted kit in RGs, where RGs, a lot of the parts are really small and really thin. On like a couple, I think on like both of the first RG Mark II kits that I bought or that I built and just panel lined, just right on the plastic, and I had parts crack.
Yeah, because usually I'll paint it. So I mean, it's already got a few layers protecting against apply. You got your primer, your paint, your top coat. Usually it's a gloss top coat after I do the decals, and then I panel line it, and then I do like a flat coat on it. But the panel line usually, I know we're talking about primer, not panel line. But I've never had primer ever do anything to any parts.
I have had just the primer and paint combination crack on a Kotobukiya Mekamusume kit, though. The skin tone parts are molded in ABS.
Okay.
And like the thigh part cracked.
The actual part cracked?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
When you plugged it on to like the ball joint, the stress of plugging on cracked the part. So like it does make even just the solvent in your primer and in your paint.
Yeah, and probably too, the amount of buildup sometimes can make it harder to push parts in, maybe too. I don't know.
Yeah, so especially if you're working with ABS plastic parts, a lot of times I used to do this, but I don't do this so much anymore. I don't worry about it. It's about like covering like pegs and stuff, taping pegs so they don't get coats of paint on there. No, I kind of don't really worry about it. It's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, especially if you're working with ABS parts, it might be a good idea. Like use tape or something just to cover a peg when you're painting so that you don't get that extra, it's small, but that extra layer of paint on your pegs. So when you put stuff together, there's not any additional tension.
Yeah, because all these parts are, they're
very tight fitting already. It should be. With recent world events, do you think overseas shipping will get more complicated or more expensive?
More expensive is what I think you can see that.
Yeah,
every day it gets more and more expensive. It's interesting because it kind of went in a wave there. Before Chinese New Year, it was costing anywhere from $20,000 to $24,000 a container. I think, from what I read yesterday, I think we're down to $14,000 a container. But that is not calculating in the new gas prices. So I'm sure it's going to go back up. Also, now that China's shipping stuff back out again, because Chinese New Year's, I'm sure we're going to get a backlog again, and then the prices will go up again. So I think one of the big problems is U.S. companies in California and some of these bigger cities that manufacture a lot of stuff weren't opening up due to COVID. So we weren't shipping stuff to China. So China wasn't getting containers back. And that's one thing that kind of rose the container level to 20,000 was because China wasn't getting the containers back to fill up. So there's less containers, more demand to fill those containers to get over here. It really necessarily wasn't the ship being backed up, is more of us shipping containers back to China. So China didn't have any containers to fill things with. Was the main reason container pricing went up.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Real quick, Robert asked this in the chat, and there's probably a question about it somewhere, but any news about the RG Hainu? I've seen a lot of people ask about that.
Yeah, so we just, we have confirmed more shipping to us. They'll probably be here next week. And then Bandai is shipping another bunch of them to us. They have them in their warehouse. They're packing them up. So usually when they tell us that, it's about 2 or 3 weeks from them to pack it all up and ship it out, kind of depending where that order is in line with all the other orders they got to do. That will fill every back order that we have up until the last ones that we put up like 2 days ago. Those ones for 2 days ago will come kind of later on in Q2. So they'll probably be here, what was it, April, May, June-ish. So those will kind of be, but the early Q2 ones should be here within like a week or two. So
coming soon.
Yeah. Very cool kit. So it's worth the wait.
Indeed. All right. Garrick asked, do you think they'll reprint the Reco kits soon, especially with the final compilation movies coming out this summer? That would make sense to me, but at the same time, I don't think Bandai really likes that line.
Yeah.
either.
So this summer, what would that be for? Would it be our summer or Japan's summer?
It's the
Are we
same.
the same summer? Okay. Yeah, because they're on the upper hemisphere.
Mhm.
So I would have already gotten no, unless there's a surprise, because they were not on any order forms, and we've already ordered for summer. So maybe later in the year.
Yep.
Maybe.
That's the pardon the expression, the redheaded stepchild of Bandai. I don't like it at all. Any chance to add Hobby Mio into your line, since Zach did a quick review of them last year, maybe even their paints? I did do a quick review of some of the products they sent to me, but will we stock any here?
Maybe. That's kind of a lengthy story.
Yeah, we hoped to.
Yeah,
I can say that at the time. But yeah,
maybe we'll see.
Even if not, we have lots of other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's when you think of it too, kind of a business level thing here. You know, if you have 20 lines of paint, are you diluting what people will buy? Because now you're carrying so much, and you got to keep so much of that stuff on hand. So now, kind of your cash flow is hindered by how much different variety you have. Sometimes a bunch of variety is not always good. Sometimes you kind of want to have the best of the best on hand, kind of what most people want, most people are going to buy. Will you like the other paint? Sure, but you can buy 2 brands that we have that's literally the exact same thing, if not better. So, but that's not to say that we won't. You never know.
Yeah, because on the other hand, maybe somebody normally prefers Mr. Color, but we're just out of Mr. Color, and they really want a particular like red color, and we have it in a different line. Maybe they'll try that.
Yeah.
So I mean, especially when it's hard to get products, it's good. I mean, to have multiple lines, then we have something else that somebody could try out. But
yeah.
Travis asked, if Bandai could adopt one characteristic from the Kotobukiya HMM kits, what would it be? And if Koto could adopt one characteristic from Bandai, what would it be?
That might be a better question for you, because I don't think I built any
HMM kits.
Yeah. I mean, I built Bandai kits, obviously, and I built the Metal Gear kit from Kotobukiya.
It's
and
similar.
I built a lot of the Hexagear kits.
The Metal Gear, I will also just say the Metal Gear kit doesn't have an extensive inner frame like the Zoid's kits have, but
so when I built the Metal Gear kit, there seemed to be a lot more parts than normal Bandai kits. Maybe that's just at the time when I built it, but it still kind of seems like that now.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, with those kits, the HMM kits are really parts heavy. You have just a ton of parts, which some Bandai kits have that.
Yeah.
Like the Barbatos is a good example of a master grade kit that does have a lot of little parts and everything like that. But what I would say, the main difference would, like, if we're comparing 2 kits that have a lot of details and a lot of parts, the main difference is that with Kotobukiya kits, I would recommend to have some glue on hand, because sometimes the little parts and stuff they don't really want to stay on sometimes. So if it's not a moving part, I would recommend just glue it on there if you don't need it separated for painting or whatever. Whereas with Bandai, you basically never really have to worry about that. Bandai's kits are always really solid. So I guess that would be the learning point that I guess they could exchange. But really all that comes down to is just, the product development and like how really precise they are with their tolerances on planning the parts. And I mean, I don't know, there's just not really that much that you can do with that.
Yeah, I mean, both companies are solid model kit companies.
Yeah. I don't want to make it seem like the
so we're kind of
going to fall apart on you. It's definitely not that.
It's very hard to kind of nitpick, little things.
One thing that is really great about Kotobukiya kits is their molds are sharper, though. Like when you have like a really sharp edge or something, like a pointed part, Kotobukiyas are super sharp sometimes, and Bandai's usually aren't. I think that's because Bandai engineers their kits more for young kids. They want to keep them like kind of safer, so they never make any really super sharp points. You usually have to file it if you want it to be sharp.
Your V fins will never be
sharp.
Yeah.
Whereas like if Kotobukiya made a Gundam kit, that V fin would be super pointy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, I mean, and it also, they're like, I don't know, they're both really great companies.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, if you're looking to buy one or the other, buy something that aesthetically pleases that you would like. So if you like mecha animals like Zoids and or hex gear stuff, buy a Kotobukiya kit. If you want, you know, I mean, you can buy frame arms kits too. So I mean, they're both good. But yeah, I think, I mean, that's, you've built a decent amount of both. So
I mean, Kotobukiya, the HMM kits, I think maybe I've built 4 or 5. I guess, I mean, not a ton, but there's not that many of them.
Yeah, and I don't know what the question was. Was it just was HMM? Because Kotobukiya does Mecha Musume kits probably the best. 30-minute sisters are good.
Yeah,
but I still think Kotobukiya definitely is dominating that market. So and that just probably is more of, I think, the faces a little better for sure.
Well, I think one limiting factor is that Bandai wants to keep their prices down, and Kotobukiya is okay with you know spending more
to get a better product.
For that, and allowing the prices to be higher because they know people will pay it.
Right. Yeah. So it just kind of depends what you're looking for, really.
John asked, "How do you guys estimate how much of each kit to order? Is it just guess as to which ones you think will be popular?"
That is a trade secret. So I mean, there's so many different factors that go into it. And I mean, I'm wrong a decent amount of times too. Sometimes
these days it's as much as we can get.
Yeah, now
basically
it's right now you put in your order and you're lucky if you get half of it. Just because of the demand and how much Bandai can produce. You know, it's not Bandai's fault. They prepared for a certain amount of demand level, and then when COVID happened, that demand level exponentially blew up. But I think that's the same with a lot of these model kit companies. So us not being able to get as much as we want to get, it's like I said, they're working on that. They're trying to get that better. And it's not that they didn't plan for it. They definitely planned for growth, just not the amount of growth that COVID gave them. As far as how much we should order, like I said, there's so much that goes into it. The design of the kit, do I think it looks good? Sometimes I'll ask other people if they think it looks good. Hey, do you think this will sell good? Is this something you would buy? Or, I mean, I'll have people from downstairs come up and, hey, did you see this? It's going to be a good selling kit. You know, and I'll let you know. So you kind of get information from all over. You also kind of know, if you've been in this business, what's going to sell. What's going to be popular, what's going to sell good, what series will sell better than other series.
Through experience.
Yeah, it's pretty much, that's probably it. It's a combination of experiences and relying on your team to help you out. But again, we don't always get it right. There's times where I've ordered kits and those kits have not done it anywhere near what I thought they would do, and we have 3 pallets sitting here, and
I think Bandai also has a good idea of which kits are going to sell more than others as well, because if they're coming out with like a new master grade of like a popular mobile suit, they'll produce a ton of them, whereas if it's just the one that's maybe a little bit more niche or something, they don't produce as many. So you can kind of base it off of if you have any rough idea of how much Bandai is producing, which basically would be like how much they say that we can get of the kit. So if they tell us we can allow up to 1,000 to compared to another one that says we can only get you 500 of that,
right. Okay. It also kind of depends too, because what they'll do is they'll send out order forms kind of 6 months in advance now sometimes, and I'm sure at some point they base how many to make off of what was ordered. I want to know if they start making them before they get all those orders in.
I think they probably just have a plan
of
how many they're planning to produce.
And then if those orders come in and it's more than what they thought, then they might change some of their allocation and time to produce more of the kit that they is doing better than what maybe they initially thought. I
would say the Messer is probably a good case for that.
Yeah, because the Messer was extremely in demand, and
I don't think they were expecting that to be as popular as they did. Because it's a pretty obscure mobile suit. I don't think people were really familiar with it before that movie came out, and it's a pretty big HG, so it's a little bit more expensive. So I think they were expecting it to maybe not do quite that well, but I think it's just because of COVID was going on, and then also it's just a new HG,
It's
and it's a cool
combination of
design.
things, yeah. So yeah.
So I think that's why that sold out, and then it didn't get reprinted for a while because they didn't have plans to reprint it.
Yeah. So then they gotta try to figure out how to put it in their production schedule and move things around. And yeah, that's great example. Yeah.
Expectations on when we might be receiving the Astra Nine Tails kit.
I would assume soon. Probably within a month or two, I would think. I think it's listed for Q2. So
or that was the first part of his question. Q2 is coming, so
yeah. So I mean, I want to say it was gonna be next month, but we put Q2 to kind of give us that leeway in case any delays. So Q2.
Don Carlo asked, I was excited when Bandai announced the Metal Robot Spirits 00 X and Riser plus 7 swords, but I haven't seen a review from any known Gumpa content creators. Why? It's recently come out. I don't follow that stuff, unfortunately.
I don't
that much
think that's out yet. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking because they just announced the Exia with the sword.
Right.
I don't remember the X and Riser 7 sword one unless it was a P Bandai. If it's P Bandai metal builds, I kind of don't.
Metal Robot Spirits.
Metal Robot Spirits. We don't even really order a lot of those, to be honest. So, so Metal Robot Spirits are nowhere near as popular as
the regular Robot Spirits or Metal Build.
Metal Build's by far more popular than any Robot Spirits ever. Like we get Metal Build kits and they're usually sold out within an hour.
Yeah.
Robot Spirits usually don't sell out by the time we get them. And we get more Metal Builds than we are allocated Robot Spirit kits. So by like a huge amount. So like probably 10 to 1 and they sell out in a day versus the small amount that we get from Robot Spirits. So
nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never really been into those, so I've never really reviewed a bunch of them, but I mean, I wouldn't mind, taking a look at some more of those in the future. What's an older kit that you think deserves a higher quality redesign? Well, the GOG, of course.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before. A lot of the old master grade Stardust memory kits.
Well, let's think HG.
Oh,
in
HG?
this case,
was
then.
that HG?
No, he didn't ask, but I mean, just since we've talked about MGs a lot.
Probably a lot of those ones like the gun tank. The it would be cool for the GOG. Yeah.
The HG Gelgoog.
Yeah.
It's an oldie.
Yeah, it is very old.
Not that bad of a kit, to be honest.
No.
Certainly could benefit.
Trying to think of the old art animation. Like we get the old animations on the art, and that's on the box.
That's like the first couple dozen.
Yeah.
The Zaku 3 is another one. That's like one of the first HGUC kits that came out. The Zaku 3. There's the Zigok.
And usually those are the ones that they're doing revives of, like the
regular gym.
Yep. Oh yeah, man, the regular gym definitely needs. Definitely would be nice to have a revive version of that.
Any kit from like the first 20 or 30 HGUC releases, basically. Yep. Any Zoids that you'd recommend for the first time? Always want to get one, but they're more expensive than Gundam. They are more expensive, but I will say on that, it's worth the price.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. As far as what I would recommend,
any version of the Liger.
Yeah, the Ligers are great. I mean, if you want something that's not probably too cumbersome, any of the Raptors.
Yeah, we just got those Rev Raptors we talked about, I think, in the last episode. We got a bunch of those in.
Yeah, the Fox ones aren't super big either. Those are pretty good.
I would not recommend one of like the Tyrannosaur type ones, like the Berserk Fury, the Genosaur, one of those.
Wait on those.
Yeah.
If you're just getting into it.
Or like any of like the huge ones, like the Iron Kong or something like that. Not one of those, but not necessarily one of the small ones, but like a Liger or Shadow Fox. The Lightning Sykes, another one that people recommend a lot.
Good,
I've not built that, but a lot of people say it's one of the best. Are there other channels that you guys get news for model kits that everybody has not heard of? YouTube channels for news? I don't rely on that at all.
I don't. So I listen to Zach's. So one thing that I do go to on Facebook, let me pull it up. It's Supreme Mecha. I don't
It's got a
shout
pretty
out to
good
him.
source.
But yeah, he usually posts a lot, he or she, because I don't know who runs it. But I usually go there because like usually when stuff's announced from all these different companies, they have it kind of up on their Facebook page pretty relative like right away from the announcement. So they're usually on top of stuff for as far as like kind of mecha models and some mecha figures and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I look at a lot. As far as figures and stuff, probably just rely on the manufacturers, honestly, for those.
Yeah.
But as far as YouTube channels, though, yeah, I don't really.
There was even what's that Japanese site? I used to use it, but even now, just kind of like, I just usually see stuff on Facebook before anywhere else.
Yeah, Facebook is kind of, I mean, you can just scroll and see things that are just announced. But it's also kind of, I mean, it's not really a fair question for us because we kind of know the stuff. And sometimes we know the stuff before it's even getting announced. So we don't really need to go and look for it, news-wise.
Can Purple Power or other cleaners damage plastic detail parts that are glued to resin parts?
I've only ever used OxyClean and have never had a problem.
Yeah, I've never heard of stuff like that damaging either resin or plastic parts. That's why people use it a lot.
Yeah, right? I mean, especially for resin because you got to get the mold release off of it. I don't wash my plastic parts.
I do before painting, just because after all that sanding, I mean, you got all the dust.
Well, yeah, I guess with
oil
the sanding,
from your
that makes
hands
sense
and stuff like that. If I was just gonna just like cut it off the runner and then just like paint it straight away, I might not bother washing it.
Yeah,
and like Machining Krieger kits, I don't wash because I normally just have to build it all. You can't like disassemble it. If it's a Gundam kit, I'll disassemble it and just wash the parts. But like Matt K kits, I can't.
Yeah.
So I don't wash those. So you don't have to. But if possible, I like to.
Yeah.
I've
just used OxyClean for resin parts and then plastic parts. I mean, I'll put them in a water bath, but I don't put any detergent or anything in there. But
yeah, it shouldn't. I mean, as far as like Purple Power goes, like I said, I know a lot of people use it all the time, and so it must not cause any problems because people use it all the time.
Yeah.
Gumpa Joey asked about Elden Ring becoming so large. Do you think we'll see any Bandai kits from it?
So we saw Tamashii Nations announce that they're making figures.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was the last week before that, they had an announcement that they are making figures for Elden Ring. But as far as model kits, I haven't heard anything about that at all. I haven't played the game. I'm probably one of the only people in America that hasn't.
Me either.
Maybe even around the world. As Zach knows, I'm more of a Minecraft player. So
dork. No, I have not played. I'm waiting for Kotobukiya to come out with the Genshin Impact model kits.
I'm sure that is coming. I would be surprised if it's not, because they're got figures now coming, so they're putting in and getting the licensing for it. So
the figures. I don't know though. I still kind of don't think that. I think they'll put out a few figures, but I kind of doubt we'll see any model kits from the line, to be honest. But I don't know. Yeah, you never know. All right. Now that we have the RG Hainu, do you think we'll have a RG Nightingale coming in the future? I love this question because it's so improbable. I don't know why anyone thinks this, but
no, I doubt.
Never.
Yeah.
No.
It's probably the same problem that they have with the Massacre Kshatriya. It would be so massive. I mean, a real grade probably won't be massive, but it would be
the same as the high grade. The high grade's gigantic.
It would be pretty expensive. And if they were going to, I mean, they made the high grade with the real grade, so they're not going to make a real grade a year later, or even probably 10 years later. They're going to want to sell the high grade kit.
Yeah, I would say not. Definitely not. But ever since the RG Hainu was announced, I've seen that question or like people coming up with that.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things you kind of hope. If you're a fan of the Nightingale, you want a better line for that kit.
I was surprised they ever made any kits of it. When the RE came out, I was surprised, and then I was kind of surprised when they even made the HG. So I mean, I guess you never know, but
you never do. So.
I would very highly doubt it. Any guesses as to the next RG release after the God Gundam? Probably P Bandai Master Gundam, right? I would love if it's P Bandai Master Gundam, but I highly doubt that too.
I'm sure we'll get some sort of P Bandai.
Hyper mode version.
Yeah, I would assume that would be more than anything else. And God, I hope it's the nice, like, electroplated plastic and not the
not molded gold.
Yeah. Which
they'll probably have, like, the P Bandai version will be molded gold and the Expo exclusive will be plated or something like that, or vice versa.
Yeah. So, but they'll probably make another real grade from G Gundam. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
I would say let's put our guesses for once the regular RG is released. How many days until you start seeing hyper mode one posted on Twitter?
Oh, that's gonna be
next day.
Yeah, or that day.
Later.
Yeah.
Straight away.
That's probably why they delayed it. Yeah, so they could get ready for that.
Somebody's gonna have it painted in gold right away, no doubt.
That might be too. There was a question earlier about demand and stuff. They did delay the real grade God Gundam, and that might just because they had more demand than what they thought, so they need more time for a good release and to fill the orders that they had.
It's a good looking kit.
Yeah, so that could possibly be why it got delayed, because it got delayed 2 months. So that gives them 2 more months to produce the kit, so it's not. And if they are trying to fight scalping, the more they can produce, the more that fights that. So
that's true. So it's kind of which way would rather have it, have it come out on time, and then if you didn't have one pre-order or something, then fight scalpers, or wait a little bit more. So
I guess
nobody likes to wait.
You probably don't want to wait. If you didn't pre-order it, you probably do want to wait. So
what's a kit that you liked the idea of, but once you started on it, you grew to dislike it?
So I've had ideas in my head on different kit bashes, but as far as like a kind of a straight build kit that I was working on, and then I kind of abandoned.
Or just grew to dislike it. Maybe you finished it, but the high resolution Wing Gundam was kind of like that for me a little bit.
I like that one.
I kind of never really liked the high resolution line from the start, though, so it's not like I had a
disdain.
I liked the idea. I kind of disliked the idea, but I thought the kit looked good, and then I built it, and I was kind of disappointed with the kit.
The RE, was it the Bawu? But not the. It was the red one. It's like
the orange.
The P Bandai one. I started
the Rebawu.
Yes, the Rebawu. Yeah. So I started on that, and I think I made the arms and the torso, and that was when that came out. 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that, and I've never picked it back up. So that would probably be it for me. I was not having fun with that kit. So
that's too bad.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll pick it back up. Who knows? Maybe 20 years from now. Retired and an old man and have nothing else to do.
All right. Going on to Instagram now, which I have to go to my phone because my computer is weird. Chris Pabsy. Chris Pabsy.
I haven't seen him. I did see him in the chat earlier.
Yeah. He said, if there was an obscure line, a model kit, paint, tool brand, whatever, out in Japan, Asia, that you could import, what would it be and why? Oh, so like an existing one that we would like to import.
That we would like to. I mean, we are getting it's Sun
Tzu?
No, not Sun Tzu.
Wave, maybe?
Yeah. So we are getting a paint brought in, but I mean, Gaia would be cool, honestly. I know there's a lot of demand for that, and I know that there is a U.S. distributor of it, but they have a lot of licensing problems, so they can't get like the frame arm girl colors. They can't bring in. They can't bring in
the Ava colors.
They can't bring in the Ava. Any like other line other than the main base line, they don't. They like refuse to bring in or even try to get the licensing for it. So
I don't know, like obscure line though. I mean, because we can get most anything.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, if I reached out, we could pretty easily just import it in. I mean, most
maybe. I mean, this is just kind of
finishers is nice, but
maybe
expensive.
like a rainbow egg.
I've
Is
never
a-
even
is
heard
an
of
odd
Rainbow
one.
Egg. I've never even heard
They
of
make
them.
mostly. I mean, I know of them from making stuff for Machine Krieger kits, like resin kits
Okay.
and decals and stuff,
Yeah.
like add-on stuff for Machine Krieger kits. That's what Rainbow Egg does.
Yeah.
Or Saito Heel also makes kind of resin kits that kind of are meant to go along with like Machine Krieger stuff.
Okay. I mean, we bring in a lot of paint. I mean, you got to think too, like we had the question before about paints and stuff. You start kind of diluting the brands you carry, the more brands you have. Because I mean, we import in E7, which is a great line of paint. Similar formulary as Gaia. If you haven't tried it out, try it out. SMS paint, amazing paint from Australia. So we, back to the question, like we can bring in stuff, and if there's something that you would like to see, send us an email. Be like, hey, we noticed this paint, we like it, I've tried it out. We'll look at it and we'll see if it's something we want to bring in, or reach out to them and see if we can make a deal. Because there's tons of brands. I mean, there's so many different brands out there of paint, and there's no way to know them all. So
one thing that is something that I've brought up to you a couple of times, but I know it's just logistically hard to get, is like books.
Yeah,
like the Gundam Hobby Life books and different stuff like that.
Yep.
From like the Hobby Japan, different books and stuff they come out with. I would love if we could carry more of that stuff, but just shipping, they're just
books are heavy,
and
you don't make a lot of money off
costly.
them. So you literally I think I looked into trying to get the magazines, those was it Japan Hobby magazines, bring them in, and we would lose money before they even hit our warehouse, just because of the weight of them. It makes shipping cost.
Either that, or would have to charge like $60 for like a $10 magazine, right?
Yeah,
which is just crazy.
The trick is to already have a container filled up, and then somehow get them to put them on that container. And that, they would have to literally have someone go down and throw it, put it into your container for you that's over there, and that's probably not going to happen. Most companies over there aren't going to care to do that. So
difficult to do.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Project asked, when can I score a win?
Today.
Could be.
Maybe.
We'll see. What's your favorite thing to listen to while building and painting? Bronny asked.
That's a good question. I usually listen to a lot of podcasts like Zach's. Well, that's not a podcast, but YouTube channels. So I will actually listen to Zach in the background. I'll listen to, I listened to, Tim Child of Mecha when he was putting up a lot of stuff. I'd listen to him in the background. His live stream. So I would, Bro Builder, Chris, their channels and a lot of shows that they do, I'll put on. Well, I'll do it while I'm working here, just answering emails. And then other non-hobby, Joe Rogan and other, I'm sure you hear them in there, podcasts and stuff sometimes too, or I'll just listen to music, just random.
Like an epic score,
mix,
10-hour.
We're going to throw a ring in a volcano music.
For me, it kind of depends on what I'm doing. Like if it's something where I more like I can turn off my brain on list, like what I'm doing. If I'm like building a kit, then I'll put on like some like news video or some like entertainment video. Like Cinnamon Toast Can is one channel that I've like been keeping up with lately. Who like kind of PewDiePie-esque, puts out like a video every day, that kind of thing. Whereas if it's something that I need to focus on and I just want something on in the background that's not going to distract me, then it'll be either just like music and like Japanese music where I'm not like hearing the lyrics, that's helpful too. Or a lot of times I'll sometimes put on Japanese like lessons because I'm trying to get better at that. And so like just having that on like in the background is like a Japanese lesson. Again, it's like not distracting. I can't like type something while listening. Like if I was listening to like a news video, something about some news thing where I have to like listen to what they're saying, and I can't type at the same time.
Yeah, I'll do that all the time.
No, I can't do that. No.
Cinnamon Toast
Can is good.
Heard of
Steven Crowder?
No, I know who Steven Crowder is. But Cinnamon Toast Ken, I've never heard of that.
He's funny.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Steven Crowder's not funny. Don't go there.
Nope. It all depends, but this is not a political show. So.
All right. Did Bandai tell you why the Gundam got delayed? Oh, we just talked about that.
Yeah,
We don't know. We
yeah.
don't. Bandai didn't tell us that, but we can guess.
Yeah, most of the time they don't tell us why things get delayed or why certain things happen. And if they do tell us in a certain way, sometimes we might not be able to actually say what it is. That's why we're kind of waiting on that letter from Bandai, because I'm sure Bandai kind of has to make what they want publicly to be out in the US. I'm sure that is a kind of why we don't have an answer yet. They want to actually make sure the wording's correct. The bigger the company, you want to make sure your wording's correct, and when you get it out, and it's not just something just thrown out there and kind of a mess, and then people can misinterpret it. You don't want people to get confused. You want the proper wording put out there. So, yeah.
Joey also mentioned Jack Spadici. I've never watched him actually, to be honest.
I've never watched him either.
He's a little bit too high energy for me, kind of like, like a hyperactive. A little bit. I don't know, maybe not, but just the few times that I have seen him, like when he's been on like PewDiePie's channel like years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't that much of a fan, but maybe he's different now. Maybe he's changed.
Two together, so different yet so similar.
There was a question here I wanted to say. Where did that go? Well, here's from Rogue. What's the best way to detail custom Gunpla, like paint or just making more detail? What's the way to make your Gunpla look more detailed?
I mean, paint goes a huge way. I think that's probably one of your biggest.
There's a lot you can do with paint.
Yes, a ton you can do with paint. Manufacturing your own part, not manufacturing, but creating, claw plate parts and stuff. I mean, we sell 3D, the Apex parts, which are pretty easy to add to detail. I mean, you've got metal parts. Probably the easiest thing, though, I would say would be paint and panel line. When you panel line a kit, it looks way more detailed than if you don't have a panel line kit.
Sure. Yeah. Also, just scribing.
Yeah. Making lines. Yeah.
Like aside from paint, like the two main things would be scribing and plot plate.
Yeah.
Which is kind of adding and subtracting. Scribing, you're subtracting stuff, whether it be like plastic from the kit, right? Plot plate, you're adding stuff back in, little bits, or making a section of the kit larger by adding a lot more plot plate in there or something. Putty, there's a lot you can do with putty, maybe less than those. That's kind of further on down the line. But William asks, what would be the first kit you choose to teach your kids to build models?
So my kids, they built Ava, who's my oldest. When she started, she was building the bear guys, but that's when those were coming out. And I think she had almost every single one. And I don't know where they're all at now.
Yeah.
That'd be cool having the storefront. But yeah, so those were coming out when she was like 2-3-ish, I think, maybe 4 or 5-ish. I don't remember when all there's 2-3 years there where they were kind of coming out.
Yeah.
At least one a quarter.
Yeah.
Now it would maybe be the Pokepla kits, the quick, easy build ones. If they do reprint the bear guys, Haros, like little Haros, those would be maybe something to give my youngest one when she's ready.
That's the couple of kits that my kids have built so far would be the Pokepla Quick. They've built one of those each, and also the regular Haropla.
Yeah.
Not the Figurized Mechanics one.
Right, yeah.
The basic one, yeah. One of those are great. As far as like Gundam, though, the entry grade.
Yeah.
Really is kind of, that's exactly what the entry grade is for. Yeah. And maybe we'll finish off with this one before we draw our winner. For Gunpla asks, can both Zach and Adam find a kit that they both like and talk about how it can improve? I'm sure there's lots of kits that we both like. We have preferences, for which ones are our favorites, maybe, but I'm sure there's ones we both like.
I'm sure when we get the question on what kits do you think can get improvement or redone, a lot of times we pretty much do agree on if it does need to get redone. A kit just over, I don't know. It's a hard one because we can just throw stuff
both
out
like
there.
And how it can improve. Because we've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, there's
the
so
GPO2
many.
kits.
Yeah, those are up there. One kit we probably disagree on. I think you like the camphor, and don't
it is.
Yeah.
I would say that I think it's fine.
Yeah.
As it is,
and I think it can get better.
Then, shit, I don't know. What's another one that could improve?
GP01 master grade.
That's
GP01 master grade full burn. I mean, all Stardust Memories kit master grades. I think we agree. The high grade ones, I think we already answered a question before. How they can improve. I mean, just bring it up to the level of what model kits technology is now, versus back then.
All right, guys.
Here we go.
Random number generator. All right, let me bring up our random number picker here for us, and we'll choose the winner for today's giveaway. All right. So first, we'll choose the platform between Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube community tab. So 3 is Instagram, which means I have to count it on my phone.
You write that? All right.
I have it written down here. We had 109. Yeah.
109 comments, all for the. Oops, sorry, I'm beating you.
Which
can't see that there is. Yay.
All right, and 43, just not too bad. All right, so I'll count that. You can answer, see if there's anybody else who had another question in the chat.
Gundam manga would like to come out as a model. I think the only Gundam manga I ever read was the Seed Astray ones, which they made the well, they had a P Bandai red frame. They actually had the Baku head, which I thought was pretty cool. I think that came with a flight pack, right? The flight pack one. So that I liked that they had that was in the manga. It was pretty cool.
It was 43, right?
Did you exit out?
Yeah.
Okay.
43. I got it.
Newt Matrix Bunny. That was actually supposed to come in Friday, and that last Friday. And it's not here yet. We kind of keep getting runarounds on when that's going to get delivered from the delivery company. So fingers crossed it is today or next week. But that is the new Matrix kits are really cool. If no one's built any of those, check those out. They are Mecha Musume type kits. Really, really awesome.
Yes.
Have you got one, right? Did you build it yet?
Which one?
The bunny.
Yeah, it's right down there. So I'll be reviewing that one for you guys next week. I've actually already got that built. Yeah, and just this week I wanted to get some reviews out for you guys for the HG Kyokai Senki kits. So that's what all the reviews this week have been, all Kyokai Senki. Next week I've got that. The new Rick Dom MG I'll be reviewing for you guys. What else is in my stack over there? The Nippako kit, which you can see right behind Adam. It's already built up. It's right over here. There you go. That, and what's the other one? The other Mega Man device kit there. So yeah, lots of stuff in my review queue for you guys. And yeah, that Nuke Matrix Bunny kit, it will be probably one of the first ones. So that'll be coming out. All right, here is the winner for this week is Kimi Ehari. Kimi Ehari.
Yay!
I'll show the
Congrats.
There you go.
Yep.
If that's you, it's not going to focus. Anyway, I commented on the post. The profile picture is a woman, so and with the name Kimi, maybe it's a she. I'm gonna guess. But she said, "What is your favorite Gundam model build?"
Interesting.
Easy question for you, I know. I don't know. I just don't really have a favorite. I would say Gundam model build is my favorite.
There you go. Yeah. If I had to say one that's not the Sanju Stein, I would say I definitely liked the Barbados, and I liked the Master Grade GM Sniper 2, actually.
Yeah, so those are great ones.
Yeah. But send us a email to support@usagundamstore.com. We just need a picture of you logged into your Instagram account. We don't want your password or anything, just you logged in, so you are verifying that it is you, and the address you want that sent to, and we will get that out to you. And congratulations. Yay.
Yes. I commented, or I replied to the comment on there, so hopefully if you're not seeing this, you'll
get the meta.
Well, then I don't need to say you.
Little tag.
Then she'll get the reply anyway. But all right, yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out today. Just a reminder about the Battlelog contest. If you haven't entered yet, if you haven't started yet, if you want to pick up one of the kits, or even if you just want to pick up some more of the Battlelog kits, they're on sale.
Yeah, 20% off. Starts now, Friday through this Sunday. Use code Battlelog, and that'll give you 20% off those kits at checkout. So if you haven't gotten one, get one, paint it up, build it up, send it in. We're excited. We want to see what you guys have.
Yeah, have some fun with those. All right, guys. Until next time, have a great weekend. See y'all later.